Hello, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Charity Wanyonyi, and today I'm wearing my mental health advocate hat. I'm loving the programming so far, and I hope you guys are loving the programming too. Today, we're going to look at outgrowing versions of yourself. February has been about love, and for me, I decided to build themes around self love. So, happy Val or Val Lilisha Peter's 21st, but I will still wish you guys happy Valentine because I'm sending my love to you. Anyone who was not wished for, and your girl, yeah. So, we're going to look at something that we do not I feel like we don't understand, and these are things that I feel like we need to unlearn and relearn. Growth is not always visible. For me, before I noticed I have grown, it was mostly how I felt inside before it actually now became external until I noticed I've grown or I've outgrown some things. You might start to feel different before others notice. You just feel this change. And for me, discomfort, it's always a signal that I'm in a space that no longer fits me or that I need to grow and tackle why I'm feeling this discomfort or why I'm uncomfortable. And change, change is something that is inevitable, and sometimes change usually happens so quietly. The growth, the changes, and not all growth will look like success at first because we are trained to want things to happen so fast. So when growth is not happening loudly or successfully, we don't feel like we are growing. Yeah. So, what does it mean to outgrow yourself? This is a self love episode. One, it's outgrowing habit that once felt safe. I used to love being a homebody, but these days I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Outgrowing mindset that's shaped by fear, like, oh, how will my life turn out if I choose this path? How would my life turn out if I continue with nutrition? So shifting or outgrowing that fearful mindset and embracing what has come my way, I feel like I have grown. Outgrowing environment that limits you, especially if you're in a place that you're constantly unhappy, or you're in a space in your life where you feel like you will do more. Outgrow such environment. Outgrowing approval seeking patterns, and that is people pleasing, always putting people first, not respecting your boundaries. I feel like when you start to outgrow those patterns, you're growing. Outgrowing versions of yourself that were built for survival. Constantly being in survival mode is not a good thing. So if you start to outgrow that version of yourself that was built during your survival mode, I feel like you are outgrowing yourself, and it's time for you to change or embrace change. So why outgrowing most of the time feels uncomfortable? Because, guys, familiar patterns are safe. The comfort zone bubble we've built for ourselves feels safer than exploring that new something that you don't know. Identity shift creates an uncertainty in you or people around you. And if you've noticed, if you start to shift, people around you are saying, siku hizi umeanza kuwa na madharau, siku hizi unajiona, yes. Others may resist your change, hence those two subtle comments they make. Siku hizi nani amenini, and me, I'm open to people growing. Growth disrupt comfort, guys. And this I can attest to. When you're growing, it forces you out of that bubble you have created, and it disrupts your normal level of comfortability. And most of the time, you end up grieving who you used to be. Sometimes I sit and grieve my late 20s because I was such a fun girl. I had this hairdo. I was such a bubbly fun girl. I grieve her sometimes, and for me, it's okay. Yes. So this kind of loneliness that comes with personal growth, because not everyone will grow at the same pace. Um, the shared dynamics you had with someone, especially in friendship or sometimes relationship, changes because we are growing at different paces. You may feel misunderstood because you have something in you that wants to burst out, but the environment around you is not letting you. So most of the time, you start to feel misunderstood, and then the boundaries you are creating or you will have created will shift relationship. That's why if a relationship survives your first few changes, you guys are bonded for life. Because I've seen most relationship breaking, most relationship ending because people are growing. We outgrow each other, So loneliness does not mean you're wrong. Sometimes when you start to feel lonely because you're taking a different path from someone else, you're doing something that people don't really believe in or don't want you to do. You're creating these boundaries to just protect your growth. You feel most of the time you're lonely, and people in my early 30s will feel that way because I feel like when you turn 30, there's this shift, this personal growth that comes with it. Even in your late 20s, that sometimes can lead to loneliness. Guys, hold on, it will get better. So guilt when you choose differently. So when you're establishing your boundaries and you're saying no, it can trigger guilt. Because as a people pleaser, you'll be like, why am I saying no? Let me just do it. But just stick to your no, please. It will trigger a lot of guilt. That's why you start grieving the past you. So you learn to prioritize yourself, and this may sometimes feel selfish. You'll be like, you start thinking you're self-centered, or you just ego, So you may worry about disappointing others, I don't want to let Nani down, I don't want to let Charity down because I said yes and right now I'm saying no, When you're high energy and you say yes to these plans and then it gets to that time, you're low energy and you don't want to do it, Sometimes may just say no, Growth can challenge all roles. If you used to be a people pleaser, when you used to show up even if you're tired, when you used to be there for everyone, and right now you're establishing your boundaries, it can challenge the older you, you're the one who used to say no, and hence the guilt. So just no, guilt does not always mean wrongdoing, especially when it comes to prioritizing yourself. And most of the people who are going through changes or they are personally developing themselves, they are going through this transition in their life, they always feel guilty. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you're not doing something wrong, you're not wrongdoing. Some changes can come with you acting erratic or just being selfish. That is different. But if you're learning to growth and you're experiencing self growth, it's not wrong. So letting go of old identities, so I'm just going to list them. The always available version, the overachiever version, the people pleaser, especially this version, guys. Work on it. The never rest version, if you take a rest, you feel lazy. So you end up dabbling in so many things until you have a burnout. So the version that equated worth with productivity. And this is something that I'm personally fighting. It's a war I'm really been fighting for over 5 years and I'm still losing. I sometimes equate my worth, like what can I give, what do I bring to the table with uh productivity, how many posts can I post, how many things I can do so that I feel like I'm worthy. So that is something that I'm working on letting go as an identity, and I hope if you experience that too, that is what you're doing. So most of the time, growth requires recalibration. I'll define what recalibration is. So it means redefining your value, reassessing what matters to you as you grow, adjusting your boundaries accordingly, saying no and sticking to your no, saying yes if you're up to the task, accepting changing priorities, And I want to also add here, when you're accepting changing priorities, learn to accept others changing priorities, because we are differently paced and we are doing different things. We are growing at a different level. So the same grace you give, you want others to give to you, is the same grace you give to others when they are undergoing their changes, especially in a friends group or in a relationship, and also allowing yourself to evolve. Guys, challenge yourself, get out of that bubble. Like for me, I was in a bubble my better part of my mid 20s. When that bubble was busted, I allowed myself to evolve and allowed myself to change. I have once in a while this self-doubt. Um Sometimes, but I'm allowing myself to evolve and outgrow. I'm sorry, my phone is on and it's very far, I can't change. So when others don't understand you, so understand, guys, growth can disrupt expectation because we always have expectation of people. We expect people to understand us. We have expectation of what people are supposed to do. So some people prefer the old version of you because maybe you are people pleaser, you're always saying yes, you're always doing this, you're always showing up, you're always overachieving, you're always giving your best. So change can create tension, especially in a friends group. I think in the comment section, just leave it in the comment section. Has this tension changed the dynamic of your group as friends, as in a relationship? You can also remember you're not responsible for everyone's comfort, hence the self growth. If you're not doing it in an egoistic way, you're doing it well. Just don't always think about others, putting others before your needs. So respectful growth is still growth. Like I said, let it be respectful. If it turns into an egoistic competition, then you're doing it wrong. And just know, guys, others will never understand you. So don't expect people to always be accommodative of what you're going through, be accommodative of the changes, be accommodative of the comments like unajua siku hizi amechange, siku hizi anafanya vitu hivi, even in family settings, and people are not ready for that kind of conversation. So we're going to look at the emotional growing pain. So you as a person, because you're experiencing the growth, self-doubt during this transition will come in. You start doubting, am I doing the right thing? Am I changing too fast? Am I hurting other people? So that self-doubt voice will always be in your head. You start questioning some of the decisions you make, and then fear will kick in, and you feel like maybe you're making a mistake for feeling the way you do, for undergoing those changes. And then there will be moments of wanting to revert back to your old self, especially when people are constantly telling you, hey, nani siku hizi umechange, siku hizi ufanyi vile ulikuwa unafanya, or siku hizi sijui uko na nini. I get such comments. So uncertainty before clarity, and that is usually the best kind of push you need for you to now blossom into the person you're developing. So if you never feel uncertain about what you're doing, sometimes I feel now someone is challenging, or you're challenging yourself from that comfort bubble. So uncertainty will always be there. So signs that you're outgrowing your older version. So I'm just going to list them. You tolerate less disrespect. You need more rest. I do that. You crave depth over noise. You value peace over approval, regardless of whose approval that is. You respond differently than you used to. If you used to be erratic in your response, you used to be so fast, you sit still, self-regulate before you respond. So self-love during this transition, this is just some of the tips I use. Speak to yourself with patience, positive self-talk. Avoid rushing clarity. Clarity can take even a month or two for it to now become clearer. You celebrate quiet progress. For me, I don't always give my cards out so fast. I hold them close to me. Seek supportive spaces. Charity Haven is a supportive space. Leave in the comment section, I want to grow this community, and allow yourself to have that imperfect growth. One day you'll wake up, you're like, I can conquer the world. Another day you'll be like, you know what, it's just too much. Let me go back to who I was. You'll have those ups and downs, and that is what makes it imperfect, and that is what makes it growth. And these self-love tips, they have really helped me through so many transitions in my life, from my early 20s to my mid 20s to my late 20s, and now to my early 30s, because each phases usually come with its own set of challenges and the requirement for you to grow. So as I close the episode, just know you're allowed to evolve. You're not betraying your past self. For me, I always write letters to my younger self, sometimes feeling guilty for giving and all that. If you want me to be sharing Notion journal prompts that I use, I can be sharing them with each episode. Just leave in the comment section if you want them with your email address, and I'll be able to send the copies to you so that you can start forgiving your past self and just not feeling guilty for wanting to grow from your past self. So growth can make you feel like you're losing something before it feels like freedom. You're grieving your past self before you accept your now self and work for your future self. Because I want you guys to live in the moment, not to overthink your future and to regret your past. So outgrowing is not arrogance if you're doing it right. For me, it's awareness, and self-awareness is very, very important. So becoming requires letting go, and becoming was my theme last year, and I feel like I conquered.